We have breaking news on Free Agency Frenzy, and this is a blockbuster as Tom Brady, six-time Super Bowl champion, tweeting out he is leaving the Patriots and officially becomes a free agent at 4 p.m. Eastern Time tomorrow. Three-time AP MVP, six-time Super Bowl champion. He has decided to officially leave the Patriots. And this was a statement. The font is small, so bear with me as I read through it for you. To all my teammates, coaches, executives, and staff, Coach Belichick, RKK, and the Kraft family and the entire organization, I want to say thank you for the past 20 years of my life and the daily commitment to winning and creating a winning culture built on great values. I am grateful for all that you have taught me. I have learned from everyone. You all have allowed me to maximize my potential, and that is all a player can ever hope for. Everything we have accomplished brings me great joy, and the lessons I have learned and carry on with me forever. I couldn't be the man I am today without the relationships you have allowed me to build with you. I have benefited from all you have given me. I cherished every opportunity I had to be a part of our team, and I love you all for that. Our team has always set a great standard in pro sports, and I know it will continue to do just that. Although my football journey will take place elsewhere, I appreciate everything that we have achieved and am grateful for our incredible team accomplishments. I have been privileged to have had the opportunity to know each and every one of you and to have the memories we've created together. And that was just the first page. This is the second page. So bear with me. Again, the font is small, so I want to make sure I get this right and get it out to you. I wanted to say thank you to all of the incredible fans and Patriot supporters. Massachusetts has been my home for 20 years. It has truly been the happiest 2 decades I could have envisioned in my life, and I have nothing but love and gratitude for my time in New England. The support has been overwhelming. I wish every player could experience it. My children were born and raised here, and you have always embraced this California kid as your own. I love your commitment and loyalty to your team, and winning for our city means more than you will ever know. I can't thank you enough for the support of our team, the packed training camps and sold-out stadiums, and mostly the victory parades. I have been so blessed to share them with all of you. I tried to represent us always in the best and most honorable way, and I fought hard with my teammates to help bring victory and triumph even in the most dire situations. You open your heart to me, and I open my heart to you, and Pats Nation will always be a part of me. I don't know what my football future holds, but it is time for me to open a new stage for my life and career. I thank you from the bottom of my heart, and I will always love you and what we have shared, a lifetime full of fun memories. This from the future Hall of Famer, six-time Super Bowl champion. Breaking news here on NFL Network. Now, welcome to Free Agency Frenzy. There has been a frenzy of activity, but this has absolutely been a blockbuster of a morning. Will Selva, Judy Batista, Sean O'Hara, and of course, Kim Jones. We want to say thank you to all of those watching us. We know these are interesting times, and we hope you are safe and you are sound, you're with your family, and we appreciate you being here with us. Again, the breaking news from this morning, and it is a doozy, as Tom Brady has said that he is officially done in New England, as we have our cavalcade of reporters who have been all over this story from day one, since we had been hearing rumors and rumblings that Tom Brady was expected to at least look elsewhere for employment. Ian Rappaport, Tom Pelissero, and also Mike Garafolo. And Ian, I'll start with you. It seems as though now there are teams making an aggressive push for Tom Brady.
Yeah, and it seems those teams are really the teams we've been talking about from the beginning, and that would be the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, made a really strong offer to Tom Brady, believed to be about $30 million per year, and the Los Angeles Chargers, who also made a little bit of a run at Brady as well. From my understanding, there is nothing imminent as far as where Brady will announce or inform a team that he is going. It sounds like there's still some moving parts for several teams involved. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers, for instance, haven't closed the door on any of the other quarterbacks they are speaking with, whether Bridgewater or Winston or anyone else. And for the Los Angeles Chargers, it seems for them it would be either Tom Brady or Tyrod Taylor. But, of course, the main thing, guys, is that Tom Brady is not going back to New England. And there was certainly pessimism in New England about that situation this morning. They felt the strong push from the Bucs, and it just never seemed like there was much of a connection, especially lately as far as potentially bringing Tom Brady back. They never felt like it was really going to happen. And now officially, Brady says goodbye to New England, which at 43 years old, considering all he's done, is amazing. And for the first time, the Patriots let Tom Brady walk away.
Ian, let's go back to something I said on the field when you and I were standing together on Super Bowl Sunday, going through our reporter's notebook of notes around the league. And I said the Patriots were already going through some of their contingency plans because they had no guarantees that Brady was coming back. I still standing there, didn't believe that we were going to get to this point. And I wondered if they really believed it. So you're right. I mean, when it's not like the Patriots were caught off guard by this today, and probably felt more so in the last couple of days and weeks like it was likely. I'm going to keep raising my hand because the warning signs were there all along. And I just said, no, eventually it's going to, right? Like it's going to go back to the way it was. It's not going to be, well, no, here we are. So now we'll see what these Patriots contingency plans wind up being, how active they are and how quickly they move, and what kind of future maybe Jarrett Stidham has. I mean, that's the backup. That's the number 2 plan. Well, frankly, the number 1 plan right now in New England, if you count what's already on the roster.
Ian, I spoke to somebody, or Mike rather, I'm all confused. This has been a big day already here. I spoke to somebody close to the situation a couple of days ago who told me they thought if the collective bargaining agreement had not been ratified by players, there was no chance Tom Brady would have been back, simply because it was going to be too complicated for them to have the space, not just to re-sign Tom Brady, but to put the pieces around him that he would need to want to return. When the CBA passed, that person thought that opened up at least a chance that Bill Belichick could come up with a plan here, put an offer in front of Brady, give him a plan for how they were going to bring in receivers, tight ends, whatever it may be, to give them the best opportunity to win this year. All along, we've been waiting for Bill Belichick and Tom Brady to have that conversation. It is believed that they have talked here within the past 24 hours, but obviously it was not a conversation that led to Tom Brady believing that he had a future in New England at a time where there are multiple teams that have been engaged with Brady's representatives over the past, whatever it's been, 20 hours or so since the negotiating window opened. So as Ian rattled off there, you've got teams like the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, whose coach Bruce Arians came out publicly and said that they would make a call on Tom Brady. You have a team like the Chargers. Could there be other teams here now that the reality has come to fruition that Brady is going to be a true unrestricted free agent, will not return to New England, who now are interested in seeing whether or not they have a chance to get in this mix?
Don't worry about discombobulated. We all are. This is a blockbuster for sure. Gentlemen, keep it up. We'll be checking back with you a little bit later on. So the winningest quarterback in NFL history, 6-time Super Bowl champion, Tom Brady, is calling it a career for New England, but he is looking to extend his career elsewhere. We've been talking about, really for days, what's next for Tom Brady, and we talk about it somewhat in this vacuum where we say, oh, maybe he'll go here, maybe we'll go here. Now it is actually a reality, and it is setting in for us as he calls himself a forever Patriot. What is your response to this news that we just received?
I'm still shocked, even though Mike Giardi, to his credit, has been telling me for months that this is how he thought it was going to go, that he was going to leave. But still, when it happens, it's remarkable. And now I'm looking at the Chargers and the Bucs, and I'm thinking, which is the best option? We talked, about an hour ago about maybe L.A. is the best place for him emotionally, for his family, for his future. He just started the production company that he's going to take into his post-football life.
199 Productions.
Which I love. Gotta love the name.
Yeah.
We're going to hear about 199 forever, I think. You know, or is it the Bucs, who have great receivers, a good offensive line, Bruce Arians, who has been lusting for him openly since the Combine? This is fascinating, but I'm still just absolutely shocked that it's not going to work out in New England.
Just the fact that he's not going to be there. He has been so closely linked with Bill Belichick and the Patriots organization. So much winning, a model of consistency there, Kim. This is something now to picture him in another uniform just seems absolutely out of place.
Absolutely, and it will for a long time, maybe for a season. The 8 words that strike me, although my football journey will take place elsewhere, was buried in that long statement. What also occurred to me, Will, as you've read it twice now, he didn't write that this morning. I doubt he wrote it all yesterday. I mean,
thought out.
That thing was well thought out. It reminded me a little bit of Eli's retirement speech, which he worked on till the fact that he wouldn't be emotional because he delivered it. Tom didn't have to worry about that part. It's a tweet. But this has been in the works. And like you said, Judy, credit to our colleague, Mike Giardi, who's been all over it. I think it's going to be weird. I would love to give truth serum to the other 3 teams in the division right now because there is no doubt, while there is complete respect for Bill Belichick, there is no doubt this is an opening. New England does not have a quarterback right now. They have to get one. That is absolutely something that feels unprecedented. It feels that way. This feels like, I'm not going to say already a changing of the guard in the AFC East. Belichick's still there, and I have such respect for him, as we all do. But certainly
really making a push.
Big change in the AFC East. Bills, Dolphins, and Jets have to be thinking, finally.
Yes.
Finally.
This is seismic, Sean, in the division. Absolutely seismic.
Well, when you think of Tom Brady, so many things come to mind. But if you could think of songs for Tom Brady, right? We Are the Champions, that comes to mind. How about All I Do Is Win? Because it doesn't matter if it's during the season or if it's in the off season or if it's free agency frenzy or if it's St. Patrick's Day. Tom Brady stays winning. It's all he does. And for him to put out this Irish blessing to Patriots fans on St. Patrick's Day and to save his friend O'Brien, who's burning down in Houston right now. I mean, this is the most Irish thing a guy like Tom Brady could ever do. But I think for Patriots fans to hear that has to, I mean, for them, the last 20 years is flashing before their eyes. And it's not just goodbye. It's not Eli Manning retiring from football. Wait a minute. You're not just saying goodbye. You're saying, I'm going to go somewhere else and play. So we're going to have to watch
see you later.
Yeah. Right. I'm going to have to watch you put on another uniform, possibly even come back into Gillette. Think about it. If he stays in the division, he's there twice. If he goes to the Chargers or the Colts, an AFC team, there's a chance he could be playing in Gillette Stadium next year as an opponent, which would be very odd. There's so many levels to this. But I think Tom Brady, the biggest thing that jumps out at me, and you mentioned what he's saying, his football journey, this is not Tom Brady going out to play one more year.
No.
He was going to do one more year, he would stay there.
He said he wanted to play until he was 45.
Tom Brady maybe playing till 50?
Yes.
I don't know. Is he going 50 burger? I don't know. But the fact that Tom Brady now, we have not seen a frenzy for a quarterback like this since Peyton Manning was a free agent, since he was doing private workouts down in Tennessee, and we were following
under cover of darkness.
We're not going to see any of that.
No.
We're not going to see any of that.
It's going to look different.
Yep.
It's going to be much different than it was back then. But boy, I tell you, if you are the Tampa Bay Buccaneers right now, and you've already put that full court press on, or if you're the Chargers right now, I mean, this right now, this could change the entire trajectory of your franchise.
The difference from Peyton Manning, and that was bananas when Peyton became a free agent, though, is don't forget there were real questions about whether Peyton could still play, right?
Certainly.
He was coming off
his
a
neck
very serious neck injury. That was a real question of could he play. When you talk to people around the league, there's not really much question that Tom Brady can still play. There were a lot of questions about what they had around him last year, and most coaches think that was more to blame for his drop-off in production than any sort of, Tom Brady giving way to age. Certainly he is not what he was when he was 30. That's okay. He's still plenty good. And if you give him the kind of weapons that the Chargers and Bucs both really have, what can he do?
Now, we invoked his name several times this morning, and we'll invoke it again because now we have the other Mike G. Yay. Mike Giardi is joining us, hopefully with gloves as well, because he is outside. And actually, he's indoors. Inside. He doesn't need the gloves. Hey, there we go. Mike G, well done. He learned from yesterday and all those live shots outside. Mike, obviously, this is seismic to see a 6-time Super Bowl winning quarterback, future Hall of Famer, the winningest quarterback in NFL history, call it a career in New England, looking for another opportunity elsewhere. What is your reaction to this news right now?
I felt like this was inevitable to many degrees, and really going back into August when they were unable to come to a long-term extension, and that was a year after not being able to come to a long-term extension again, and that Brady really sort of went through the season in a mood. And I think it's a mood that affected the entire team. And look, they were 8-0 at one point. They went 12-4. They win the division. So how much did it affect? But I just think from his own personal standpoint, that's the least amount of joy that I recall Tom Brady have playing an entire season. I think that's one of the things that has separated Brady, along with all the different levels of greatness, is the joy that he plays with. It's a kid's game, and he treats it as such when he's on the field on Sundays or Monday nights or whatever. And I felt like that we were kind of headed in this direction all season long. And I think when you end the season in January the way it ended here, the pick 6 against Tennessee, and to hear Brady talk afterwards, and then to go 2+ months without the Patriots and Brady getting to a table or getting on a phone call and sort of hashing things out and saying, are we going to move forward? Can we move forward together? Do you want me? Do I want you? It's basically been radio silence. And we've heard quite a bit, over the last week or so. Well, it's the CBA. They don't want to have conversations because they don't know the full details of the CBA. Well, if they wanted Tom and Tom wanted them, then CBA or no CBA, they could have at least said, hey, look, when this is all said and done, when that's finally hashed out, let's sit down, let's come up with the final numbers. How do we make it work? And that didn't happen. I mean, we were reporting yesterday all day that there had been no conversations again. So really, I think the last phone call they had was about 10 days ago, and which Brady's side categorized as it didn't go well. And Belichick's side said, oh, it's just business as usual. So now you wonder where the Patriots go from here, because it's pretty hard to replace someone who has been the starting quarterback for essentially 2 decades, taking you to 9 Super Bowls and won 6. I do not envy whoever the next person is, although I will say it helps to have big brains in the building, and Bill Belichick and Josh McDaniels will certainly be able to shape this team going forward and shape this offense, but it will look a lot different without number 12.
Absolutely, Mike. You've been all over this story. As we saw yesterday, DeAndre Hopkins was traded from Houston to Arizona, and you had tweeted out and mentioned the fact that the Patriots inquired about D-Hop. How serious of a push were the Patriots trying to make to get more weapons around Brady in order to lure him and keep him there in New England?
Yeah, I'm not necessarily certain that it was just about Brady. I think it's in general you take the offseason and you break down your team and you say, what do we need? And I think they clearly felt like they were light at wide receiver and they were light at tight end, and that created some of their problems. Obviously, they made the trade for Mohamed Sanu at Brady's request, and then Sanu 2 weeks in sprains the ankle, which he just had surgery on a week ago, so he was never the same player after that. They relied heavily on a soon-to-be 34-year-old in Julian Edelman, who caught 100 passes, but as you saw down the stretch, I think it was 12 catches in the final 4 games, which is staggeringly low numbers for someone who is so dependent on by Tom Brady. They also inquired about Stephon Diggs before the trade to the Buffalo Bills. So to me, maybe that was to appease Brady, but I think in general it's just we need to get better. These guys are available. Let's see what can happen. And quite frankly, when you're both the Vikings and especially Houston being in the conference, why would you trade those guys to Bill Belichick and the Patriots? Why would you give them an advantage? They've been the dominant franchise for the better part of 2 decades. If you want DeAndre Hopkins, if you want Stephon Diggs, you're going to have to pay a premium over what someone else paid. And I know some people think that the Bills overpaid for Diggs. I don't think they did. And the Hopkins deal, it's a little bit questionable, but Bill O'Brien knows more about what was going on behind the scenes with Hopkins than we do at this juncture. So I just think the Patriots realized they have to get better. And now if it's Jarrett Stidham or whoever the next quarterback is, there's still a need to add pieces around him to make his life easier, because it clearly wasn't easy for Tom Brady this year.
Not at all. All excellent points out of you. And Mike G, excellent work out of you. So we'll be hearing from you throughout the day there in New England. So much to unpack from what Mike was reporting on. What stood out to you about what he was saying there?
I have so many more questions for Mike,
yes.
honestly. But my next question is, what's next? I mean, is it Jarrett Stidham? Does he have a real chance to succeed Tom Brady? Did they think he's that ready now? Or do they go into the free agent market? I mean, I can't imagine they would try to move all the way up to do a draft pick, but do they go into free agency? Is it Andy Dalton? Who is it? What do they do?
And they've always been able to plug and play, right?
Yeah.
These players. This is an extreme situation, and this is a massive test here for Bill Belichick.
With perhaps no
offseason.
Yes, absolutely.
So, you know, here's your quarterback. Which one is he?
Right.
What number is he? He's going, 14. Okay. I mean, I don't know. And I do think it's interesting there is no chance that Bill Belichick has sat around, you know, for weeks now, you know, just twiddling his thumbs thinking, hopefully Tom comes back. There's no chance of that. There has to be a plan in place there. I have no idea what.